As I've grown older, I've discovered a few simple secrets that help me stay sharp, strong, and full of life every day. Today, I'm going to share the best supplements that have truly changed the game for me. Whether you're in your 50s, 60s, or beyond, trust me, you'll want to hear this to the end. Why I chose supplements. And you might too. I look back. I realize that growing older has been both a gift and a challenge. When I was younger, I never gave much thought to what I ate or how my body functioned. I was full of energy, able to juggle family, work, and hobbies with ease. But as the years crept up, I noticed subtle changes that I couldn't ignore. Aches in my joints, feeling more tired than usual, and a sense that something was missing, even though I was eating what I thought was a balanced diet. I remember one morning vividly. I had just turned 60, and I woke up feeling sluggish even though I had gotten a full night's sleep. My knees ached when I stood up, and my mind felt foggy, like a thick cloud had settled in. I couldn't shake the feeling that my body was trying to tell me something. I brushed it off, thinking maybe I just needed more exercise or a stronger cup of coffee. But as the days turned into weeks, I realized this wasn't a phase. It was my body's way of asking for more. I started researching what happens as we age, and I found that our bodies naturally become less efficient at absorbing nutrients from food. No matter how healthy I tried to eat, I couldn't guarantee that my body was getting all the essential vitamins and minerals it needed. That was a light bulb moment for me. I used to think that supplements were just for people who didn't eat well or were sick, but now I saw them differently. They could be a powerful tool to fill in the gaps and support my body's changing needs. I still remember sitting at the kitchen table, sipping my tea, and writing down a list of the things I wanted to improve: my energy levels, my bone strength, my memory, and my overall sense of vitality. I knew I couldn't reverse aging, but I could make choices that would help me feel my best every day. That's when I decided to explore the world of supplements. At first, I was overwhelmed. There were so many options: multivitamins, minerals, herbs, and formulas promising everything from better skin to sharper focus. I didn't want to just follow trends or take something without understanding why. I wanted to make informed decisions. So, I spoke with my doctor and a nutritionist, and I started reading reputable sources about what seniors like me needed most. One thing that really stood out to me was how certain nutrients become even more important as we age. For example, calcium and vitamin D for bone health, B vitamins for energy, and omega-3 fatty acids for brain and heart health. I learned that even with a healthy diet, our bodies might not absorb enough of these nutrients due to changes in digestion and metabolism. That was a game changer for me. I realized that taking a thoughtful, targeted approach to supplements could help me maintain not just my physical health, but also my mental clarity and emotional well-being. It wasn't just about avoiding deficiencies. It was about thriving. I thought about my grandchildren and how much I wanted to stay active and present in their lives. I wanted to keep gardening, traveling, and enjoying life without feeling weighed down by fatigue or discomfort. Supplements, I discovered, were like reinforcements for my body's natural defenses. They weren't a cure-all, but they could give me the edge I needed to keep moving forward with strength and confidence. Of course, I was careful. I didn't want to overload my body with unnecessary pills or fall for marketing gimmicks. I chose high-quality supplements from reputable brands, always checking labels for third-party testing and certifications. I also made sure to discuss any new supplements with my healthcare provider to ensure they wouldn't interact with my medications or existing health conditions. One of the most empowering things about starting this journey was the sense of control it gave me. Instead of feeling like I was at the mercy of aging, I felt like I was taking proactive steps to support my health. I noticed that my energy levels improved, my joint stiffness eased up, and my mind felt clearer. It wasn't an overnight miracle, but a steady, noticeable improvement that made me excited to wake up each morning and see what the day would bring. I know that everyone's body is different, and what works for me might not work for you. But what I've learned is that being open to exploring supplements with the right information can be a game changer. It's not about chasing a fountain of youth. It's about giving your body the nutrients it needs to feel its best at any age. And if you're like me, you'll find that small changes, like adding the right supplements, can lead to big improvements in your quality of life. As I stand here today, sharing this with you, I feel grateful for the choices I've made. I feel stronger, more energetic, and more present for the people and activities I love. And I hope my story inspires you to listen to your body, explore your options, and take steps to support your health and vitality. The magic of multivitamins. My daily shield after. I realized my body wasn't getting everything it needed from food alone. The next step in my journey was figuring out where to start. And for me, the first supplement that made a noticeable difference was a multivitamin. I used to think multivitamins were just for people who didn't eat well, but I quickly discovered that even with a balanced diet, our bodies might not absorb enough of certain nutrients as we age. That's why I now call my multivitamin my daily shield. It helps me fill in the gaps and gives me a solid foundation of essential vitamins and minerals. Let me take you back to the day I picked up my first bottle of multivitamins. I was standing in the supplement aisle, feeling a bit overwhelmed by the sheer number of choices. There were dozens of bottles, all promising energy, vitality, and strength. I turned over a few labels and saw words like B12, zinc, folate, and antioxidants, but I didn't know exactly what I should be looking for. After a bit of research and talking to my doctor, I learned that a good multivitamin for seniors should cover the essentials that tend to decrease with age. Things like vitamin D, B12, calcium, magnesium, and antioxidants like vitamin C and E. The first thing I noticed when I started taking my multivitamin was how it helped with my energy levels. Before, I would sometimes hit a wall in the late afternoon. I'd feel drained, both mentally and physically, and it was hard to muster up the energy to get through the day. But after a few weeks of taking my daily multivitamin, I felt a noticeable difference. It was like my body had a steady, reliable source of the nutrients it needed to keep me going. I remember telling my friend Mary about it one afternoon while we were walking in the park. She was skeptical at first, saying she didn't think a simple pill could make much difference. But I explained that it wasn't about a magic bullet. It was about giving our bodies the building blocks they need to function at their best. As we age, our digestive systems become less efficient, and even a healthy diet might not provide enough of key nutrients. A multivitamin acts like a nutritional insurance policy, making sure we're covered where our diet might fall short. 1. Of the things I love about my multivitamin is that it's easy to take. I keep it in a little container on my kitchen counter, and I take it with breakfast every morning. It's become part of my routine, just like brushing my teeth or doing a few stretches. Knowing that I'm giving my body a boost of essential vitamins and minerals helps me start the day with confidence. It's a small habit that sets a positive tone for everything else I do. Another reason I swear by my multivitamin is that it helps support my immune system. As we get older, our immune defenses naturally weaken, which can make us more susceptible to colds, flu, and other infections. My multivitamin contains vitamins C and D, zinc, and other nutrients that play a key role in keeping my immune system strong. I've noticed that since I started taking it, I seem to recover more quickly from minor illnesses, and I haven't had nearly as many sick days as I used to. Of course, I'm careful about the multivitamin I choose. I always look for one that's specifically formulated for seniors, with the right balance of nutrients for my age group. I check for third-party testing and certifications to make sure the product is safe and reliable. I also make sure not to exceed the recommended dosage because more isn't always better when it comes to supplements. It's about finding the right balance to support my health without overloading my system. I also want to share something I've noticed since I started taking a multivitamin. My skin and hair feel healthier too. I didn't expect that benefit, but I've heard from other seniors that they've experienced similar improvements. It might be the antioxidants and B vitamins working together to support skin health and hair strength. It's a nice bonus that makes me feel more confident and vibrant. One thing I've learned along this journey is that taking care of myself isn't just about what I put on my plate or how much I exercise. It's about making sure my body has all the nutrients it needs to function well, especially as I get older. My multivitamin is like a safety net, catching me when my diet might not be enough. It gives me peace of mind knowing that I'm doing something proactive to support my overall health. I know there are people who might be hesitant to start taking a multivitamin, worried it's just another pill or expense. But I like to think of it as an investment in my well-being. It's a simple, affordable step that can have a big impact on how I feel each day. And I always remind myself, it's not about perfection. It's about doing the best I can with the tools and knowledge I have. So if you're like me and you've noticed that your energy isn't what it used to be, or you want to support your immune system, or you're simply looking for a way to fill in the gaps in your nutrition, I encourage you to consider a high-quality multivitamin. It's not a miracle cure, but it's a powerful ally in helping you feel your best. And when you feel your best, you can keep doing the things you love, whether that's playing with your grandchildren, tending your garden, or exploring new hobbies. As I wrap up this section, I want to remind you that this journey isn't about trying to turn back the clock. It's about embracing the changes that come with aging and finding smart, simple ways to support your health. My multivitamin has become a trusted part of my daily routine, and I truly believe it's helped me stay strong, vibrant, and full of life. Calcium, vitamin D, and my bones. The secret to staying strong: I never used to give much thought to my bones. In my younger days, I took them for granted, assuming they'd always be strong enough to carry me through life. But as I reached my late 50s and early 60s, I began to notice little signs that made me pause. Stiff joints in the morning, a slight stoop in my posture, and occasional back pain that lingered longer than it used to. That's when I realized I needed to start paying serious attention to my bone health. And that's where calcium and vitamin D became my best friends. I remember sitting in my doctor's office for my annual checkup, and she mentioned the importance of maintaining strong bones, especially for someone my age. She explained that as we get older, our bodies naturally lose bone density, making us more prone to fractures and conditions like osteoporosis. This really hit home when a close friend of mine slipped on the ice and fractured her hip. Her recovery was long and painful, and it made me realize how fragile our bones can become if we don't take proactive steps to protect them. I left that appointment determined to strengthen my bones and avoid that kind of situation. My doctor recommended I increase my calcium and vitamin D intake, not just through food but with supplements as well. She explained that while calcium is the building block of our bones, vitamin D is like the key that unlocks the door, allowing our bodies to absorb and use that calcium effectively. So I began researching how much calcium and vitamin D I needed. I found out that for someone my age, I should be aiming for around 200 milliliters of calcium and 1,000 IU of vitamin D per day. While I tried to get calcium from dairy products like milk and yogurt and vitamin D from sunlight and fortified foods, it quickly became clear that it wasn't enough. That's when I decided to add supplements into the mix. I started with a high-quality calcium supplement, one that included not just calcium carbonate, but also magnesium and vitamin K2 to support bone health. The first thing I noticed was how much stronger and steadier I felt. My morning stiffness started to ease, and I found it easier to stand for longer periods without discomfort. My joints felt less creaky, and I even noticed an improvement in my balance. I didn't expect supplements to make such a noticeable difference, but they truly did. Vitamin D became equally important. Living in an area with long winters and limited sunlight, I realized I wasn't getting enough vitamin D naturally. This vitamin isn't just important for calcium absorption, it also supports my immune system and helps with muscle function, which is crucial for maintaining stability and preventing falls. I added a vitamin D supplement to my routine, making sure it was properly dosed and from a trusted source. I remember one day I was out walking with my grandchildren, and we decided to climb a small hill near our home. In the past, I might have hesitated, worrying about my knees or my balance. But that day, I felt confident and steady. I could keep up with them, laugh with them, and enjoy the moment without worrying about falling or hurting myself. That's when I realized the real gift of taking care of my bones. It wasn't just about preventing fractures, it was about preserving my freedom and independence. Of course, I didn't stop at supplements alone. I also focused on exercises that support bone health, like weight-bearing activities and strength training. I incorporated light weights, resistance bands, and balance exercises into my routine. But the combination of physical activity and the right supplements made me feel stronger and more resilient. It was like I was giving my bones the support they needed to keep me moving and living life to the fullest. I also noticed other subtle benefits. My posture improved and I felt more confident standing tall. My joints felt smoother and less stiff, especially first thing in the morning. I slept better, knowing I was doing something proactive for my health. And I found that my mood lifted too. There's something deeply reassuring about knowing you're taking steps to protect your body's foundation, your bones. I've shared this journey with many of my friends, and they've all been surprised by how much of a difference calcium and vitamin D can make. One of my closest friends, Susan, told me that after adding these supplements to her daily routine, she felt less tired and more stable on her feet. Another friend said her back pain lessened, and she felt more confident doing everyday tasks like gardening and grocery shopping. Of course, I always make sure to take my calcium and vitamin D at the right times and in the right amounts. Too much calcium at once can be hard on the stomach, so I split my doses throughout the day. I also take vitamin D with a meal that contains some healthy fat, like avocado or nuts, to help with absorption. I make sure to check my levels with my doctor regularly, ensuring I'm staying within healthy ranges and not overdoing it. One thing I've learned on this journey is that taking care of your bones isn't just about preventing disaster, it's about enhancing your quality of life. It's about standing tall, walking confidently, and doing the things you love without hesitation. Calcium and vitamin D are more than just nutrients. They're tools for living life on my terms. As I reflect on how far I've come, I feel grateful that I took the time to learn about bone health and made the decision to include these supplements in my routine. They've given me the strength and stability to keep exploring, to keep up with my family, and to continue doing the things that bring me joy. And that's something I'll never take for granted. Omega-3s for my heart and mind. My brain's best friend. It wasn't until I reached my 60s that I truly started to appreciate the connection between my brain, my heart, and what I was putting into my body. For years, I thought of health in separate compartments: bones, muscles, heart, mind. But over time, I realized that these systems are deeply intertwined. And one of the key players in this connection, especially for someone my age, is omega-3 fatty acids. I'll be honest with you. I had heard of omega-3s before, but I didn't fully understand what they did. I just knew that they were in fish oil and were supposed to be good for you. It wasn't until I attended a community health seminar at my local senior center that I learned how critical they are for heart and brain health, particularly as we age. I sat there listening to the speaker talk about how omega-3s support healthy cholesterol levels, reduce inflammation, and even help keep our minds sharp. That was my light bulb moment. I thought, why haven't I been taking this seriously before? After that seminar, I went home and dove into researching omega-3s. I learned that they're a type of essential fatty acid, meaning our bodies can't produce them on their own. We have to get them from our diet or supplements. The two most beneficial forms are EPA, eicosapentaenoic acid, and DHA, docosahexaenoic acid, which are found primarily in fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, and sardines. While I enjoy fish occasionally, I wasn't eating it nearly enough to get the recommended amount of omega-3s. That's when I decided to add a high-quality fish oil supplement to my routine. I still remember the day I picked up my first bottle of omega-3 supplements. It felt like I was investing in my future. I chose a brand that was third-party tested for purity and potency, and that provided a balanced dose of EPA and DHA. Within a few weeks, I noticed subtle but meaningful changes. My mind felt clearer, like a fog had lifted. I found it easier to concentrate on tasks, and I felt more mentally alert during conversations and when reading. It wasn't a dramatic overnight change, but a gradual improvement that made me feel more like myself. But the benefits weren't just mental. I also noticed improvements in my heart health. I've always been mindful of my blood pressure and cholesterol levels, and after a few months of adding omega-3s to my routine, I saw improvements in my lab results. My doctor was pleased, and so was I. I felt more confident knowing that I was doing something proactive to protect my heart. After all, a healthy heart means more time to enjoy life, more moments with family, and more adventures waiting around the corner. One of the things that really struck me was how omega-3s also help reduce inflammation throughout the body. I've dealt with occasional joint discomfort and stiffness, especially on chilly mornings or after long walks. After incorporating omega-3s, I noticed that my joints felt less achy and more flexible. It wasn't a miracle cure, but it made getting out of bed and moving through my day a lot more comfortable. This was especially important because I love gardening and spending time outdoors with my grandchildren. I didn't want joint pain to hold me back. What's fascinating is how omega-3s support both my heart and brain, creating a foundation for overall wellness. There's even research suggesting that omega-3s may help reduce the risk of cognitive decline and memory loss as we age. For someone like me, who cherishes the little moments, remembering birthdays, sharing stories with loved ones, enjoying books and puzzles, this benefit is invaluable. I want to stay sharp and engaged for as long as possible, and omega-3s are a simple, natural way to support that goal. I also love that omega-3s are easy to incorporate into my routine. I take my fish oil supplement with breakfast, alongside my multivitamin and calcium. It's a habit that takes just seconds, but offers lasting benefits. And while I do make an effort to include omega-3-rich foods in my meals, like salmon salads, walnuts, and chia seeds, I know the supplement gives me the extra boost I need to meet the recommended intake. I've shared my omega-3 experience with friends and family, and many of them have started their own journey. My sister, who used to complain about feeling mentally foggy, started taking an omega-3 supplement and noticed clearer thinking and improved focus. A neighbor of mine, who has a family history of heart disease, told me she feels more at ease knowing she's doing something to support her cardiovascular health. These stories remind me that we're all in this together, finding ways to stay healthy and vibrant as we age. One thing I always emphasize is choosing a high-quality omega-3 supplement. Not all fish oils are created equal. I look for products that are certified for purity, free from heavy metals and contaminants, and that offer a high concentration of EPA and DHA. I also make sure to store them properly to maintain freshness and avoid that dreaded fishy aftertaste. It's worth the extra effort to choose a product that truly supports my health. As I reflect on how omega-3s have impacted my life, I feel a deep sense of gratitude. These tiny capsules have given me the gift of clearer thinking, a stronger heart, and more comfortable joints. They've helped me stay connected to the world around me and continue doing the things I love, whether that's tending my garden, cooking with friends, or sharing stories with my grandchildren. I see omega-3s as my brain's best friend and my heart's steadfast companion. Of course, I always remind myself that supplements aren't a replacement for a healthy lifestyle. I pair my omega-3s with a balanced diet, regular exercise, and plenty of mental stimulation, like reading, puzzles, and learning new things. But I truly believe that adding omega-3s has given me an extra layer of support, helping me navigate the challenges of aging with grace and vitality. As I close this section, I feel inspired to keep sharing what I've learned. If you're reading this and wondering whether omega-3s could make a difference in your life, I encourage you to give them a try. Talk to your doctor, do your research, and find a high-quality supplement that fits your needs. It's a small step that can lead to big rewards, not just for your heart and brain, but for your overall sense of well-being and connection to life. My supplement routine. Putting it all together as I sit here with a cup of tea in my hand, reflecting on everything I've learned about supplements over the past few years, I realize how much they've become a part of my daily life. It's not just about popping pills or swallowing capsules. It's about creating a routine that supports my body, mind, and spirit as I age. This section is where I share how I've put everything together into a simple, sustainable routine, and how you can too. When I first started exploring supplements, it felt overwhelming. There were so many options: calcium, vitamin D, omega-3s, multivitamins, and more. I remember standing in the health store, scanning bottles and labels, feeling unsure of what I really needed. But I didn't let that feeling stop me. I took the time to learn, ask my doctor questions, and listen to my body. Over time, I built a routine that felt right for me, a routine that supports my bones, heart, brain, and overall energy. Let me walk you through what a typical day in my supplement routine looks like, so you can see how simple it can be. I start my morning with a glass of water and a light breakfast, usually something with a bit of healthy fat, like avocado toast or a yogurt parfait with nuts and berries. With this, I take my calcium supplement, making sure to split the dose if needed. I've learned that taking too much calcium at once can make it harder for the body to absorb and might upset my stomach. So I space it out, taking part of it in the morning and the rest later in the day. Alongside the calcium, I take my vitamin D supplement. Since vitamin D is fat-soluble, I always pair it with my breakfast to boost absorption. This simple pairing ensures my bones get the support they need right from the start of the day. Next, I take my multivitamin. This is my safety net, covering any nutritional gaps I might miss from my diet. My multivitamin contains essential nutrients like B vitamins for energy, zinc for immunity, and even a bit of iron, which my doctor recommended based on my blood work. I made sure to choose a multivitamin designed for seniors with the right balance of vitamins and minerals for someone my age. It's a small step that gives me peace of mind. After breakfast, I like to go for a brisk walk or do a bit of light stretching. Moving my body helps the nutrients I've just taken circulate, and it sets a positive tone for the day. Plus, getting outside gives me a bit of natural vitamin D from the sun, which complements my supplement routine. Later in the day, usually with lunch or an afternoon snack, I take my omega-3 supplement. I prefer to take it with food to reduce any chance of a fishy aftertaste and to enhance absorption. I always look for a high-quality fish oil supplement that's certified for purity and potency. It's a small but powerful way to support my heart, brain, and joints. In the evening, after dinner, I take the second half of my calcium supplement if needed. I also take magnesium, which helps with relaxation and supports bone health. I find that magnesium helps me sleep better and reduces those occasional nighttime muscle cramps that used to wake me up. This simple addition has made a world of difference in my quality of rest. Throughout the day, I make sure to stay hydrated and eat balanced meals rich in fresh fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, and whole grains. Supplements are just one piece of the puzzle. Good nutrition, regular exercise, and mental engagement are equally important. I also make a point to check in with my doctor regularly. We review my blood work, discuss any changes in my health, and adjust my supplement routine as needed. This partnership gives me confidence that I'm on the right track. One thing I've learned is the importance of consistency. It's easy to forget a dose or two, especially on busy days or when traveling. So I use a simple pill organizer to keep everything sorted by day and time. It sits on my kitchen counter where I can see it, reminding me to stay on track. On days when I'm away from home, I tuck a small container into my bag with the day's supplements. This way, I never miss a dose, no matter where I am. I also make it a point to listen to my body. If I notice any unusual symptoms or side effects, I pause and reassess. Supplements should support my health, not cause discomfort. I've found that quality matters more than quantity. Choosing well-researched, high-quality supplements has made all the difference in how I feel. Perhaps the most rewarding part of my supplement routine is how it's given me a sense of control over my aging journey. Instead of feeling like things are slipping away, I feel empowered. I'm not just waiting for issues to arise, I'm actively working to prevent them. This mindset has made me more positive, more resilient, and more hopeful for the future. And here's the best part. This routine isn't complicated or expensive. It's about a few key supplements, taken thoughtfully and consistently alongside a healthy lifestyle. It's something anyone can start, no matter where they are in their health journey. If you're thinking of building your own supplement routine, I encourage you to start simple. Talk to your doctor, assess your needs, and choose a few foundational supplements, like a multivitamin, calcium and vitamin D for bones, and omega-3s for heart and brain health. Pay attention to quality, stick to a routine, and give your body time to adjust. The benefits might not appear overnight, but over weeks and months, you'll likely notice improvements in your energy, focus, and overall well-being. As I wrap up this section, I feel proud of the journey I've taken, from feeling overwhelmed by choices to confidently managing a supplement routine that supports my health and happiness. I hope my story inspires you to take your health into your own hands, one supplement and one day at a time.